Hey, this is this is Skeptical Spectrum. That's my name. I don't want anybody to know who I really am. And today I'm going to talk about abortion and what's important. What's important is hedonic utilitarianism. Hedonic utilitarianism means we're trying to increase the well-being and decrease the suffering in the world. Well-being and suffering are denoted by feelings and sensations, and that is how we survive for millennia. We're making up things based unconsciously based on the way we feel and some of the thoughts that go the way we feel. So we have to continue reinventing morality to do a better job, because there's no boss, no big man, no big woman in the sky that invents these moral rules for us. So abortion the abortion debate has to do with decreasing suffering. And I know some people will argue that, and they'll say there's some other kind of wrong. So a blastocyst, I think, is like the earliest group of cells, fetus and embryo and all those things. We know, I think, that at some point when the baby has a certain brain formation, and after, in stages of brain formation, we know that the baby can feel pain at some point. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm sure that scientists have decided that it's when a certain thing happens. They can do this by dealing with adults and doing brain research on adults, and then seeing if babies can feel pain. So that's really the only calculation we need to make. I was going to say something a little bit about the brain. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We talk about a baby recoiling when you poke their in the womb. So this could be a fetus of any stage of development, and at a certain stage of development, it starts to jerk its foot. But there's no evidence that it processes anything called pain, because the neural circuitry is not there. The brain circuitry is not there. There may not even be nerve connections from the foot to the brain. It might be because you know what happens when you jerk your finger when you hit a hot stove. It is through the spinal cord. It just sends a message through the spinal cord and back to your hand to jerk back. And a split second later, you feel the pain. Go ahead and try that. And just pause and go ahead and try that and come back. This is a live thing. I don't think anybody's watching it live. So anyway, go ahead, try the thing. If you're a kid, I'm kidding. If you're a grown up, I'm kidding. Don't do that. That's supposed to be hilarious. It's not going to be hilarious if you try it. So, more importantly, is that we are continuously developing all kinds of anesthesia, and children in the womb get surgery sometimes when there is a problem that could hurt the child or the mother, and they want to save the child, so they'll go in at some point and do surgery on a child. Now, wouldn't that hurt? Well, maybe it does hurt, maybe it doesn't at particular stages. And at other particular stages, it's possible they're using anesthesia. I have to read more up on that. I read about one surgery in like a newspaper article. If you're interested, look it up and comment below about it. That just like you can anesthetize me, you can anesthetize a baby, probably through the umbilical cord or in the amniotic fluid or some other way, or just anesthetize the mother and that anesthetizes the baby. I just don't know about that, because I'm not a doctor. So the here's the thing: a lot of misery can happen in life, right? Once, in my opinion, once I'm out of the womb, which I have been for years now, like 54 years, really, and I want to see how happy I can make myself and other people on this planet. So I'm going to keep on trudging. It would be a lot easier to like get euthanasia, to do the Soylent Green thing where you go somewhere and they let you die. They do something to stop your body from working. I don't. I happen to not believe anything happens after your body stops working, that you cease to exist. Everything, the sense of identity and all the thinking and the cognition that are produced by your body, created by your body, just stop happening. Just like if you kill a TV show, except TV show is you know what I mean. And just what I'm saying is that the TV no longer feels anything. It doesn't have any place to go. There's nothing inside the television set that is still perceiving. Same with a dead body, right? A living body, it seems like I can perceive all this stuff. So with a baby, one of the main things is when you come out of the womb, there's a whole lot of suffering out here in this world. And there's a whole lot of good stuff. So I'm living to try to see if I can make my life and the lives of others a better lives and that kind of thing. That's the hedonic utilitarian. Hedonism means pleasure. And what this means is well being, but there's a better word, comfort, joy, happiness, um, warmth, love, appreciate. Emotions are real things, they're actual actions in your body. Um, one of the most recent theories says that it's the sensations you feel with an emotion or your body gearing up to send energy to certain places to get you to do certain jobs. Like if you're feeling depressed, it could be that the body thinks you're going to have to hide and be very quiet and not be noisy and not be anything that any predator might be able to smell, see, taste, or hear. That's so they want you to just lay there. Or really, I think that depression probably can help during a famine because you're going to be burning fewer calories and you're hunting and gathering less, and you're burning fewer calories, and you're not be eating as much, and you're going to be burning fewer calories, and it's about burning fewer calories. And so instinct so anyway, so where am I with this? I'm with the okay, back to the babies. There it's worth living to continue to see if you can make a better life for yourself or others. One of the things that happens when I talk to people who have suicide ideation is if they really care about the people around them, and most people do, they don't want to hurt them. They don't want to have them feel the pain of losing them. So they march onward, and some of them start building lives and happiness and that kind of thing. So the world has happiness and unhappiness in it. And if we are thinking and calculating about how to make life a better place, then sometimes we're going to realize that and by the way, there's one expert on that. So like there's all kinds of data in our culture and in our science that says what makes people happy, what's better for the general population, what's better for each individual in terms of joy, happiness, and comfort versus suffering and pain. Is what's the calculation? I'm doing this live. This is intimidating. Um, it's okay. So it's a calculation of how much suffering can happen. But where is the computer that compiles all that? The pregnant person is the computer that compiles all that information and makes the decision. That's the only person that is stuck with that decision. Oh, I hear guys online, we disagree and we debate and they say, but what about the dad? And I'm like, what about the dad? The dad is not sitting there with the being inside of it, right? So there are many places where having a baby is a liability for the baby and everyone else, where there is no food, where there is no clean water. And I'm not saying that I can prescribe that that's a time when you're going to have an abortion. Um, the real problem with what I'm saying is that it's really tricky to try to figure out what's going to be the effect overall of general happiness or general suffering when you make any decision. But one rule is when someone has a decision they're stuck with, you don't get to jump in because I think you're going to create more misery that way. I've met many people who've had abortions, and the worst things that ever happen to them is someone judging them, asking them to reconsider, trying to tell them that the fetus has a soul or whatever. I've met many people who believe the fetus has a soul, and they do the abortion anyway because it's a different calculation. Okay, if you believe that a baby's going to go to limbo because it never got a chance to be baptized, just remember that's a belief that you can't verify scientifically or with observation. But I'm not telling you not to think that way. I just think that you are going to cause more misery unless you're thinking about suffering versus compassion, and that you have to be willing to hold on to those beliefs that do seem rational and do seem to have evidence, because of those are the ones that are going to help us learn to make this calculation. So, in terms of all kinds of things, capital punishment, whether boys should be aggressive or should they not be aggressive, because this gender based thing, should women be submissive? The answers are no to both of those, my guess is. But there are situations where violence and aggression seem to be indicated, like if someone's invading your country, it does seem like I'd be really stupid to tell people, oh, don't defend your country, just let them invade. So, okay, so the weakness of my position is that it is very hard to calculate the overall misery versus joy and thriving with any decision. And so, what I'm saying is get rid of all other moral philosophies and just use this one. And eventually, those calculations will be something we can do on a regular basis. On a regular basis, it'll be forefront in our minds. That kind of math will be right there in our minds whenever we're making decisions throughout. If I break into somebody's house and steal, stuff out of their fridge and go feed a homeless man, I don't know if that's going to cause more or less misery. So until we know how to calculate, just do your best calculation and play your best hunch. You will learn from experience. Abortion's okay to do, and there's only one person who can decide when it's okay at this point, and that is the pregnant person. And thank you very much.